Hola, hello. Wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. Oh, not sure where to begin. Just feeling into it. I wanted to talk about nature, or that natural rhythm, because that's one thing that I've been really, feeling into a lot of things, but I'll get into that rhythm. It really helped me feeling into nature. That was one of the suggestions in the book. Feel into nature. And for me, my connection to nature is my cats. Because at some point, I asked the question, why the hell are all these fucking cats showing up? I didn't go out and searching for them. It's not like I went to the pound and said, I need 9 cats. Well, I don't have 9 cats to live in the house, but there's 9 cats that I feed. I spend over $100 a week just feeding cats. But they just been showing up and they will not leave. Probably because I feed them. But at one point it was a bit of an irritation because I'm like, what the fuck are all these cats come from? They didn't show up till it started about 2 years ago, and I lived here. But I think I've lived here about 4 years, 5 years, something like that. So it didn't happen right away as soon as I moved here. But at some point, all these cats just started showing up and wouldn't leave me alone. They called it home. Oh. There was a bit of a love-hate relationship with them at first because they're beautiful animals, they're lovely, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't let's sign up to be the caretaker of all these cats. Sorry, I have a bit of a runny nose today, so. But at some point, I felt into it, and I was like, "Why are all these cats showing up?" Because I was like, "There has to be a reason." Because I have to be attracting them. Because I don't believe in coincidences or randomness. So I said, "Why am I attracting all these cats? There's no victims. I am bringing them. I am drawing them to me for some reason." And I finally felt into it, and what came to me was they were my connection with nature. They were how I connect to nature. How Sarah put it, hers is the ocean, which is a very, because I even felt into that. That was a very beautiful energy. You could feel the movement and the energies of that. It's very beautiful. And some people might be just walking in the woods. Some people would be gardening. I've never been a gardener. Don't do the house plants. So, my consciousness, my awareness is I need this connection to nature, and it brought it to me since I wouldn't go out to it. Since I didn't want to go out to the woods and walk around or start a garden, I never felt that. So it brought the cats. Because, it says you need this connection to nature. You need it really badly to move forward. Now I understand why. It's because when I had that realization that what I felt was you could just see the movement of the energies of the life, the death. I've held 4 or 5 different cats in my hands as they've died. Some I had to put to sleep because they had feline AIDS. And it was irresponsible to keep them running around and spreading it. And, it's very painful. And some were some kittens who passed away, who got sick and passed away. Excuse me. And it was a very harsh energy to go through to accept it. At first, it was a very painful death. Death was a very painful thing I think I did a video a few months or so back about when some of the kittens had died, where I had 3 kittens die, was it 3 or 4? I can't even remember now. within a 24-hour period, and it was a harsh energy to accept that the naturalness of death, naturalness of endings, but also at the same time, as someone who's been in this spirituality game, and I understood it wasn't an end. I knew that, but I needed to go more into feel into it, and that was a beautiful experience because now I look back at it. It was very heartbreaking at the time. It felt very harsh and cruel in a way, but it's like many of the things when you allow that darkness, when you go into it, there's such a sensuality and a beauty and a breath of light in it that you realize. Doesn't mean I want all my cats to die in my hands today or anything, but it was part of me getting to allow that. I had to let go of the storyline. But allow myself to really feel into that ebb and flow of nature. But the last few days, that's one of the things that have been coming up is feeling into nature. Even especially yesterday. Yesterday was Thanksgiving here in the United States. If you live here, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed mine. I decided not to go see the family this year. For once, I took it for myself and stayed home. Did some grilling in the backyard, made me some really beautiful chicken and some other things. But as I sat outside yesterday evening and grilling, and all the cats were in the backyard just frolicking and playing and chasing each other, watching the squirrels and the birds fly by, and just sitting there and just feeling into nature, watching, observing them, and not just observing them, but really feeling into it, really making a point to feel, to be active, to really just open myself and allow myself to feel all the little nuances. It was a very beautiful experience. Oh, sorry. Very rewarding, but it's that's what I love about this exploration. It's just always so expansive. Every time you think you've figured something out, every time you think you understand something, it goes deeper. I think Sarah put in her book is, been there, done that? No. You think you've been there. You think you've done that. But it always opens up and expands. And worthwhile to go back into it again. To explore it. Because one of the ways I've earlier today, I had a feeling just to play the guitar. Now, I haven't played the guitar in probably about a week and a half. Because it's one of the things I've really noticed about all this, the passion now as it been coming up. It's not when I was more into human passion, it was more focused. It was more singular. Now it's so much more rhythm. Rhythmic. I can't. One of the words I can't say today. My cigarette's gone out. There's much more. There's an ebb and a flow into that natural energy. Because some days, like I said, I've been writing, I've been drawing, been playing music, exploring, but it's not been singular. It's not been with a human purpose. I'm not writing at the moment to accomplish anything. It's just a joy to write, so I write. And I don't care if it's I'm not trying to sit here and write the great American novel or the great spiritual book or anything like that. It's just been so free. That's one thing when you're in that flow, it's so freedom because it doesn't have a human need of outcome, a human need of expectation of what it's going to be. It's just for in that moment of writing. So it took me a while to get there, because at first it would come in passionately. I would just start writing. And they got to the human mind think, oh wow, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to. I put out an expectation of what it's going to be, and then it would go away. That passion for writing would just be gone the next day. But then there'd be a passion to draw, or there'd be a passion to play music, or a passion to write something else completely different. But I'm like, what about this? They're like, no. You did that yesterday. You're done with that right now. It's been this really organic, like just cut in and out, and it just hasn't, I wouldn't say I'm a writer, I'm a musician, I'm an artist. There's none of this. I can be those things at times. There's moments when I am an artist, but then the next moment I'm not. The next moment I'm something completely different. And it's been at first it was jarring. At first it was like, I wanted to control it. At first I wanted it to have a human meaning, a human storyline. And that, to me, that was one of the things I was trying to talk about in some videos earlier. That was hard to get out. It was like, it's like this sense of not having a human goal for it anymore. It's like when I pick up the guitar today, I just wanted to play. There was just a few chords just messing around, and I was just feeling into all the little notes and all the little things. Not trying to write a song, not trying to better myself as a musician, not trying anything. Just enjoying just plucking some strings and just enjoying the overtones and the sounds of just playing a couple notes or a couple chords back and forth in a rhythmic, hypnotic way, just kind of, and exploring that, really feeling into those notes, going into the other realms and feeling that music there and feeling it here. And it was just a sensual experience. But if you probably would listen to it, you'd be like, he's just plucking two chords back and forth over and over again. But to me, it was such just an experience of sensuality. Oh. It's hard to describe. But as I've been feeling into this natural rhythm more and more, and the more I realized I've been in it to certain degrees, and at times hesitated, at times I've resisted it. But now to really feel it, and to be, okay, I see where it's going, I understand this rhythm, it's just the rhythm, just allow it, don't put any pressure on it, don't try to control it, but feel it, open to it. Because at first, because I think I've started writing like 5 or 6 different books. And I'd write a couple chapters, or some that I'd get really far, I got hundreds of pages, and then it's like, okay, that's over with. It's dead. Put it aside. But like, I put so much, the human wants to say, I put so much effort and work into it. It's that you got what you needed from it. You got what you needed. Now let it go. Right now, that's what it feels like. I think I started this actually with these videos. That's what the first thing I started getting into was because I kept getting the feeling, only make the videos when you have a passion for it. When there's this, it wants to come out. If I sit here and just try to make a video, mentally, it is a very different energy than when I'm in this flow with it. And that's the one thing it's been trying to get me to recognize and feel into. The energy of the flow versus the energy of the mental human. How they feel different. How one is very restricted. How one has I'm going to make videos to be famous. I'm going to make videos to make money. I'm going to make videos to be popular. I'm going to make videos blah, blah, blah. 5,000 other 100 reasons. The other one is just, I'm going to make a video. Just because I can. Just because it has no meaning to it. No mental meaning, no human need for satisfaction. If I'm making these videos so people will like me, that's that mental energy. if I make this video just because I feel like speaking today and just sharing and expressing myself, just my I amness. And don't worry, because there's so much more freedom in that. Because that's when I can sit here. And I know some of the comments people say, "Oh, I think Sarah, thank you for opening up. Thank you for being so vulnerable." It doesn't feel vulnerable. And so I was like, "How am I being vulnerable?" I didn't really realize it. I just being in that moment, and it just feels right. That's why I feel like this is I guess you could say that safe space is that flow. So you're in that flow. It just, you feel safe. You could say anything. I could say I wet the bed till I was 14, and I don't give you know, and would I go and do that mentally, trying to make myself look better or worse? There's no mental thought. There's no like, oh, what will people think of me now? It's just, that's one of the reasons I was always like, do not go back, do not get mental about these videos. Because if I do go back and look at the videos, and then there's usually the first thing when I see when I watch it would be like, how's my hair today? Did I comb it? Did I wash it? Is my shirt wrinkled? Is my beard combed? No, it's usually a fucking mess. Because usually when I'm making these videos, I'm just sitting back here relaxing. I didn't give a shit. The shirt I had to pick off out the cats. The cats were all sleeping on it. So probably. But those are the mental things. If I go back and want me to get away from those things, they said, don't go back and watch these videos. If you do, even when I watched the video about the Atlantis, when I said I did go back and feel the water, and I remember that the first thing I thought about it, oh man, I look like shit. You could tell I had a rough night. I didn't take a shower that morning. I was still wearing the shirt I wore the day before. I was still a bit out of it. And I'm like, but that was the first human idea that came back from it. Then I said, yeah, ignore that shit. That shit doesn't matter. Feel into the energy. That's the important part. So I'm still getting used to it. There's still the mental thing there that comes up, and there's not. And it's a beautiful thing to kind of start feeling the energies of, and like, which one do I prefer? Which one do I like better? The flow is much better than the mental linearness. It's much more free. You just feel so much more relaxed because I don't have to worry, is this video going to do well? It doesn't matter. The video will do whatever the video does. It's so free. It just takes a load of weight off of you. Same thing if I'm writing a book. Am I going to finish it? Because that was a kind of a thing I wanted to finish them, because during the realm working era of my life, I did a lot of things I never finished. I started because I was always so tired and wore out. I always tried and push things, and things just always seemed to fall apart every time I tried to go do anything. So there was this big human want to finish things. This human want, because I grew up dyslexic, and I felt I had this image of myself that was less than, that was unworthy, and I wanted to show a worthiness. Like, how horrible is that to want to do that? Now I understand that being worth. I don't know if I can put this in words at the moment. It's like trying to feel the word. I was like, but there was this sense of, I had this blockage, or this energy gravity of wanting to prove my worthiness that I had to go through, that I had to let go of. And I probably still have some of it there. I don't want to say I've completely got it, but everything, the gravity of it all has been so lessened. It's so much a weight taken off you. I don't have to prove my worthiness anymore. I don't have to prove my spirituality. I don't have to prove that I'm a master. I don't have to prove anything. That's been one of the greatest things about going into flow. Because in the flow, there is no proving anything. There's no... it's one of my favorite things about it. It's like, I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to... It's still it's difficult to put into words. But it's one of the beautiful things about it. Being in that rhythm, not having to prove yourself, also letting go of outcomes. Because that was very difficult. I was very outcome focused, even though I probably at the time would have said I wasn't, but I was. I still am at two degrees, and I'm still. But it's so much louder when it comes up now. It's so much more present in my awareness that I can step back from it and say, "Oh, I'm trying to control the outcome of this. I'm trying to make this into. I'm getting caught into a story." And I'm trying to make it go into the arching story that I want it to go, and the human thinks it should go to. And those times I just step back and say, okay, no more stories. I like one of the things in the book is that want is vulgar. To want things is vulgar. And to want an outcome, a certain outcome, is so vulgar. It really is. And I just said, I'm being vulgar. I'm really just being so vulgar at the moment, and just step back from it. I said, this has been my favorite part of realization. You know, you could say the realization that I am realized that was nice, more of on an accomplishment level for the human. It felt, but it really, after you have that realization, you get high for a few days or weeks or whatever it is for you. But then there's the crashing back to earth, and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta actually live this now, be it. And that's brutal. That is, at first, that is so brutal. You have to go through all the dragons, all the darkness. It's finally feeling like this is the first part of it, after so many years of going through spirituality, that it actually feels better. You know, you think it's like yeah. Some people, if someone asks me, should I do a realization? I'm like, it won't make you better. Not at first, anyways. You know, you probably have to go through 10 years of shit. You'll have, of course, there's beautiful moments in it. There's moments of realization, moments of sensuality, but it's momentarily, and it's because you're in that. I go to the other realms and crash back to Earth. Go to the other realms, crash back to Earth. Go to the other realms, crash back to Earth. It's kind of like that. It's like beating. It's like a constant beating. I finally remembered the title of that video. I forgot to say. When I was trying to describe the flow or this rhythm of nature, this rhythm of further, what I called it was this evenness. Because that's what it felt. I didn't feel like I was crashing back over and over, like I was going out and crashing back, out and back anymore. It was just this evenness, this neutrality almost. That's probably a better word for it, this neutrality. There was I had less resistance now, so I could just move in a much more neutrality to everything. Now, but when you start moving in that neutrality, you really start realizing all the other little bits of resistance even more. So it's still a beautiful experience, and it's still an experience of, okay, this is where I'm still resisting. This is where I'm still blocking things, and I see this is my favorite part of the whole journey so far. You know, this is the part you wanted after your realization. This is what I thought would come after realization, this neutrality or something, but didn't, because I had to fucking clear all that shit out. Oh. So, try to see what I feel into anything else I want to talk about before we end the video today. We'll see. But that's one thing that's been coming up, the vulgar of want, the vulgarness of trying to control outcomes. I'm not trying to control. I think the big things are easier to give up. And there's the small, tiny little things that are more subconscious, more unaware of. Those are the ones that are starting to coming up now. They'll be cleaned up. And I'm so happy they are. Oh. even stories, being caught in someone else's story, I would say that's vulgar as well. It's not my story. Unless you choose it to be your story, then I'm realizing how many stories I tell myself, how many stories I've told myself, how many beliefs are based on linear stories that are just so harsh and blocky and unmovable. And it's just been it's a great time to be alive. You know, I had a lot of a lot of gratitude yesterday. Just sitting there feeling intonation, I feel like I had such gratitude to be on this planet right now. Well, it looks like Peter's coming to visit. Hello, Peter Cat. So I think I'll end the video here. Wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day. That's wonderful. Oh.